Oh, actually, it was mute and I was speaking since 2 to 3 minutes. I'm laughing. I don't know that I was mute and I was speaking since 2 to 3 minutes. I was wondering that why you people were not replying. Yeah. So my question was, even I have asked this question 3 to 4 times, but none of you were replying. So I just thought that, yeah. Uh, my question was, what is the return type for this get data method? Whenever this method will be invoked, it will execute this raw query method. It will get all the values, will store the value in res folder, sorry, in res variable, and at the end we return res. Yes, most of you have correctly given the answer. You can write the return type which is cursor, because the answer would be stored in cursor only. So return type is cursor. That's it. So our method is ready. Now we need to go to the Java file again, and here click event is also ready. So now we need to write our logic. So what is the logic? We need to call this method. So how to call this method? Using the object, and we already have the object of db helper class, which is helper. So what can we do? We can write helper dot method name is get data. That's it. And whatever answer I will get, it will be in the form of cursor only. So I can store it in cursor. Let's say cursor res. And I need to import the class for cursor. So by doing this, I can say all the values are there in res variable. Now the question is, I need to separate it. I need to separate all the values. I need to separate it with ID, name, surname, and marks. Whatever is there, I need to separate it. So for that, what we can do, we need to first check whether this res is having any value or not. If it is having value, then we will separate it. And if it is not having any value, we don't need to separate it. So let me check whether if res dot, the method is get count to see whether the values are there or not. If get count equals 0, what does it mean? There is no value. So here I don't need to do anything, but we will write certain error message that we will write later on. Don't worry. And in the else part, or without if the value is not 0, it means there are values. So in that case, we need to get the values and we can store in the string buffer. We can append the values. So let me create the object of string buffer, which we were creating in Java also. Let's say buf equal to new string buffer. This is very interesting. You need to be with me, and this logic is somewhat complex. Now, in res variable, which is the variable of cursor, we have all the values in the separate rows. So what we will do, we will check whether values are there or not. So to get all the values, we need loop. As of now, there are 2 rows only. So this loop will execute 2 times. If I have 5 values, then this loop will execute 5 times. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm going with a while loop. So let's say while, now the variable is res, and very important method is res dot move to next. This is the method. So what this method will do, it will check whether first row is having any value or not. If the first row is having any value, yes, you can write this code in else part, or else you can write without else part also. It is up to you, because if it is 0, then it will go inside the if, or else it will always go outside the if. So it is not needed that we need to write in else part only. So res dot move to next, what it will do, it will check whether the first row is having any value or not. If it is not having any value, it will come out of the loop, and if it is having any value, then we will separate it using few of the methods. So how to do it? So let's say I want to separate the value, and whatever value I will get, I want to append it in the string variable, which is buffer. So buff dot append. What I want to write, I want to separate the ID, so I can write ID. So to separate ID, what I can do, so you need to understand it carefully. The method is getString method, where I can pass the index. So for example, in this res, as of now there will be 4 columns in the first row. Let me explain it. See, it would be like this. Let's say as of now I am having 2 rows, fine, and I am having 4 columns. So this is my structure, like this, where I can say the first one is for ID, not OD, it's ID. Second one is for first name, next one is for LM, and last one is for marks, like this. And here I will be having 2 rows for this case, because I have inserted 2 rows, like this. So this is at index number 0, I can say. This is at index number 0, this is index number 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So whenever this loop executes for the first time while res dot move to next, so the value of res will come here and we'll find this row is having values. So it will go inside the loop, buff dot append id. Now I want this id, and this id is at index number 0. So what I will do, I will write res dot, the method is get string, and I can pass 0. Fine. Now similarly, let's say in this string I want each and every value, all the values I want. So I got id. So similarly you can separate the name also. So let me separate it. I can add plus, and let me go to the next line so that it displays correctly. Similarly, I can append buff dot append. Second one is let's say first name. So now to get first name I can use again get string method, but now I can pass index 1, which is at index number 1. Again I can go with /n, and same thing I can do for the last 2 values. This is, let's say, last name, and this is marks. This is index number 2, and this is index number 3. So far, is it clear? Are you getting this? So for the first row, this loop will execute first time. It will get all the values from index number 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I will get Ravindra, Dangar, and first I will get 1, then Ravindra, then Dangar, and 10. Second time this loop will execute. We'll check whether second row is having any value. Yes, so it will go inside and we'll get 2, then first name is Nikhil, then Parmar, and 90. So in my string, which is BUF, I am having all the values. બે રોની જેટલી વેલ્યુ છે એ બધી એક સ્ટ્રિંગમાં આવી ગઈ appended. ફાઇન. તો હવે આ વેલ્યુને આપણે ક્યાં લઈ જવી છે, ધેટ ઇઝ અપ ટુ યુ. તમારે એ વેલ્યુને લિસ્ટ વ્યૂમાં મૂકવું છે, તમારે એ વેલ્યુને કસ્ટમ લિસ્ટ વ્યૂમાં લઈ જવી છે, તમારે વેલ્યુમાં કોઈ ટેક્સ્ટ વ્યૂમાં સેટ કરવું છે, તમારે એ વેલ્યુને કોઈ એલર્ટ ડાયલોગમાં મૂકવું છે. ઇટ ઇઝ અપ ટુ યુ. બટ ફ્રોમ રિઝલ્ટ વિચ ઇઝ ધી કર્સર વેરિયેબલમાંથી આપણે એને સ્ટ્રિંગ વેરિયેબલમાં પાસ કરી લીધું બાય યુઝિંગ ધીસ મેથડ. આર યુ ગેટિંગ મી? because directly cursor ne તમે કે મેપ ના કરી શકો. So using get string method we have got all the values from cursor. તો હવે આપણે એવું કરીએ કે આ વેલ્યુ ને ક્યાંક બીજે મૂકવાની ટ્રાય કરીએ. ફાઇન. કોઈ ડાયલોગ માં કે મૂકીએ, એલર્ટ ડાયલોગ કે કોઈ પણ જગ્યાએ. ચાલો એલર્ટ ડાયલોગ માં મૂકે. let's do it because it is very easy. તો શું કરીએ આપણે હવે? એલર્ટ ડાયલોગ માટે what can we do? We can create one more method. Okay, let's create one method. public void uh, show data. So what I want to show, I want to show the title and message. Let me give title. See, I will explain you, don't worry what I'm doing. You will come to know very soon. And if you don't do anything, then also in this variable you have all the values. So you can simply print the toast message and you will get all the values. Let me do that thing first. Let's remove this to avoid the confusion. So far I hope you got it. And if yes, then let me print the toast message where let's write BUF only. And let me run this application. So already two values are there. So let me click on get data and you can see ID1. Let me click again. You can see ID, first name, last name. I'm getting both the values. Yes or no? As soon as I click on get data, I am clicking both the values. Let me insert one more value. Let's say Darshan Agrawat, and he's also clever. So let me go with 90 and add data. Data is inserted. Now I want to check whether data is inserted or not. So now I don't not need to go with SQLite browser. Simply I can click on get data and you can see I got the third value also. See here. Is it fine? Is it interesting? Yes, great. But now I don't want this text to be displayed in toast only. I want this data somewhere else. Let's say in the alert dialog or in the list view. So as a part of activity, I will ask you to fetch all the data and you will have to write this data in the custom list view. But as of now, let me go with alert dialog so that I can explain you how you can explore the data. So for that, let me create one method which is already created here. Let's say show data. Or let me give name show data in dialog so that we can remember it. So now here let me first create the alert dialog builder. We know how to create it. Alert dialog dot builder. This is the inbuilt class which we need to use. So create the object of alert dialog dot builder. We have already created the alert dialog. So I hope you are clear with this. We can set few properties which we were setting. Let's say one is set cancelable. Let me go with true. I should be able to cancel it. Let me set the title also. Builder dot set title, and whatever title I will get, this title I want to set. So let's give title. I want to give message also. So builder dot message, which is message. Fine. And at the end we need to show the dialog. So for showing the dialog, what is the method? It is the builder.show. Builder.show. Now I need to call this method. So for example, if my res variable is not having any value, in that case I should get an error. So for getting the error message, let me call this method show data dialog, and we will pass two things. So what are the parameters we will pass? First parameter is we will give title, which is error, and what is the value? I can write there is no data. So if the count is 0, it will call show data in dialog. Title will be error and message will be there is no data. But the value will pass here. It will create the dialog and will set the value. Same thing I need to do from this while loop also. So again I can call the same method. What is the method? So data in dialog, and what I can pass title. Let's say title is data, and what is the value? Value is the entire string. So I can get the value from buff dot to string. So entire string variable will be passed in this alert dialog. And now let me run this. So similarly, if you want to display all the values in your custom list view, then also you can do it. The only thing is you need to know how to get the data, and if you know how to get it, then uh, you can map your values anywhere in any control. So now let me open, click on get data, and you can see I'm getting a dialog instead of toast message, where as of now there are 3 values. Now let me add one more value. Uh, who is the lucky guy? Krunal Movalia. Oops, sorry. See, he is very clever in Android. Let me give 99. Add data. So data is inserted. Let me click on get data. So now you can see there are 4 values. First ID 1, 2, 3, and 4, and all the values are there. So this is how you can fetch the data. You can insert the data, you can fetch the data. So far we are discussing about local data only. Is it fine? Yes, Jigar, scroll bar is going to get inserted automatically. Don't worry about that. And if not, you can even put scroll bar also. But ultimately, we are not going to fetch the data in dialog. This is what I was just explaining you. Otherwise, many a times whenever we need to insert the data, we need to fetch it. Then after fetching, we need to store the data in a kind of list view. તમારો ડેટા તમે જે ફેચ કરશો એ જનરલી લિસ્ટ વ્યુમાં જ હશે કે તમારી પાસે એક લિસ્ટ વ્યૂ અવેલેબલ છે, કોઈ જગ્યાએથી ડેટા આવ્યો તો એ સામે લિસ્ટ વ્યુમાં મેપ થવો જોઈએ. ક્યારે એલર્ટમાં મેપ થવો જોઈએ એવું નહીં હોય. બટ ધીસ ઇઝ વોટ આઈ એમ જસ્ટ એક્સપ્લેનિંગ સો દેટ યુ કેન કનેક્ટ ધીસ ટોપિક કે ડેટા આવી ગયા પછી કઈ રીતે યુ કેન પ્રોસેસ. Fine, so good to go. Should I complete this? Because still there are 2 things. I want to update the values and I want to delete the values. But now to update and delete the values, I will hardly take 15 to 20 minutes. And if you need break, then I'm fine. You can go with 10 to 15 minutes of break, and then we can complete this update and delete operation also. So that within one go we can complete the entire database. Otherwise, tomorrow you will forget this entire thing, whatever we have discussed today. What do you think? Should I complete both the operations which are remaining, like deletion and updation? Yes, then I can give break also. So yes, it is 10:56. So what is the convenient time? 10:10, sorry, 11:10 or 11:15? How much time do you want?
સર અંકિત સરનો મેસેજ આવ્યો છે.
Is it so? So let me ask Ankit sir that I am going to continue. Don't know. Yeah, I will inform him. See, those who are having connectivity problem, those who are having problem in power connection, and they can refer the videos later on, don't worry. But those who are fine with everything, we can continue this session so that within one go I can complete this. And now hardly I will take 10 to 15 minutes because everything is ready. Now within one line we will delete the data and within one line we will update the values. That's it. For both the things, there is very less code, 1 or 2 lines of code. This was the complex one. Fetching the data was the complex one out of all the operations, and this is what we have done. Fine. તો અત્યાર સુધીમાં સમજાણું છે ને બધાને કે હું એકલો એકલો જ બોલતો હતો? કહેજો મને. Okay, great. That's fine. So let's have a break for 10 minutes. At 11:10, we will meet again. You can disconnect this meeting. Yes, Sunil, you are right, but many people wants break. You are right, and I am also ready. I don't have any problem. I can continue this session for 5 hours. I'm not getting tired at all. Okay, so we will meet again at 11:10. Meanwhile, you can have a break. You can have a tea. You can have everything whatever you want. Okay, bye bye.